Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your August 2017 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and welcome to any newcomers who may be with us for the first time. As you can see, my background has changed. I am doing the Gypsy thing and am off bouncing around Europe for the next couple of months, currently in beautiful Poland right now. So as always, thank you for all the likes, shares, subscribes, all your wonderful support. Feedback and all the comments that you send in, and thank you for those of you who continue to reach out for personal one-on-one readings, and to my regular clients as well. Thank you so very much. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, you can click on that about or description button on my YouTube channel's homepage, which has a little more information, and my email address, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do a wide variety of readings. Year overviews, love and romance, compatibility charting, career work and finance, channeled overviews, channeled messages. And so if you're interested, send me an email. We will go from there. Turnaround time for personal readings is anywhere from a couple of days, upwards of 2 weeks. But since I do readings full time, 6 days a week, it is what I do. We can usually set up a reading for you almost always within a 2-week period of time, live or recorded. So if you're interested, email me and we will set something up for you. So moving right along, these are general readings. As you know, there's many of you watching, so of course they're not going to mean the same thing to the same degree and intensity for everyone watching. If you know your rising and your moon sign, watch those videos as well. They may play out a little more predictively for you, and watching them just may give you additional bits of insight and clarity into what's going on in your life for the time period that the reading covers. So try to watch all three if you know them and if you can. These are the beginning of the month general, so I'll be pulling the customary 2 cards per week with an additional 9th card from the bottom of the deck for overall energy and advice. And this reading is for Sagittarius, the fire sign of Sagittarius. We have the 3 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, the 8 of Swords, the 9 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the Star, and the 4 of Swords. And from the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and guidance is the Moon. You know, it's interesting. You are the 4th or 5th August general I've put out, Sagittarius. And there's so far a very strong theme of letting go, moving on to some degree or another in one area of your life or another, and having some difficulty and challenges in doing that, but managing to successfully do it around the end of the month anyway, and you seem to be no different. Although I feel like for you, it's less about holding on deliberately and more about really wanting to move on from something or detach yourself from something to move on into a different kind of future path for yourself, but feeling maybe trapped, like you can't. But it looks like you actually do it from the first half of the month to the second half of the month. It seems like a lot of the signs that I've done August general so far, the first half of August is spent kind of going back and forth or struggling with detaching, letting go, moving on. And then the second half, it's almost like something happens in the middle and then boom, you guys are off and running. So that almost sums up the reading, but we'll go through the cards anyway. So Sagittarius, we begin with the 3 of Wands, followed by the 6 of Cups. Wands is fire energy. That's the energy which governs the suit, dynamic energy. It's all about manifesting, creating, building, forward-moving, action-oriented, dynamic energy. The 3 of Wands is about laying the groundwork for a long-term future goal, because the tarot is all about a journey, basically. And in the card which comes before the 3 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, it shows a man standing at a crossroads, and he needs to make a choice whether he's going to go, which path he's going to choose, the one to the left or the one to the right. And the key to choosing the right path is in, what's your long-term goal? Where do you want to end up at? And that makes the path getting there easier to see and easier to start on. So next is the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands is all about, okay, I know what I want. I have my long-term goal, my vision of what I really want. Now is where I'm trying to do the footwork, lay the groundwork, do the homework, the research. What do I need to do? Starting to do the footwork, putting the initial steps together to begin to manifest what you really want, moving towards that long-term goal or that big picture that you really want. It's paired with the Six of Cups. Cups is water energy. It's all about that watery material world of feelings. The Suit of Cups is about our emotional landscape and feelings and relationships, how our emotional base leads us to relate to other people, all different kinds of relationships. The Six of Cups is a card associated with the past, reminiscence, nostalgia, childhood. It can represent travel back to see the past, meaning like travel back to see parents, relatives, roots of origin, where you grew up. It can represent, dealing with issues around the past or around family. It can represent the long ago past, like childhood or just family, etc. It can represent looking back on the past through with rose-colored glasses because it represents a childlike, more innocent time where you didn't have the stresses and cares and anxieties and worries that you do today. But, what sector of your life this actually resonates in is going to vary depending on, what Sagittarius you are, because there's so many of you watching and it's a general video. But the energy, as I always say, fundamentally remains the same. I feel like you're trying to disengage yourself away from something from the past. Now, how that manifests for you is going to differ. Some of you, it's relationship oriented. I feel like for some of you, you're trying to find a way to actually disengage from a long-term relationship. It could be a long-term marriage. It could be a long-term friendship. Something that's been with you for a long time. It could be, your childhood sweetheart, you married your childhood sweetheart, some kind of long-term relationship of that sort. Some of you, it could be trying to physically move away from home or physically move away from the area that you've been in for a long time. Maybe you've grown up in the same place, or maybe you had to move back home for financial reasons, or getting that story as well. There's a sense of trying to disengage from something long term or something that could be specifically related to the past or to your childhood as well. You're trying to lay the groundwork steps. You already know what you want. You want to move forward. You want to kind of move away and from this. And so you're trying to do the initial footwork, maybe homework research, especially if it involves actual moving, jobs, etc., financial issues, figuring out how you can actually begin to manifest what you want into reality. For a very small portion of you, like just a few of you, this may be the opposite. You may be trying, in fact, to go back to the place you grew up in or move back home, not necessarily meaning with parents, but roots of origin, where you grew up, returning back to something old and familiar. But that's only for a very small portion of you. For the rest of you, I feel like it's exactly the opposite. And again, whether that's an actual family or childhood issue, or whether it's a long-term relationship of some kind, could even be job related, although I'm not really getting much of that. It feels more emotional in nature, like relationship or family issue, or could be childhood stuff as well. So trying to do that. Now, next to that, we have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords. And so there's some difficulty coming in. The Eight of Cups is a card of walking away, of leaving something behind because ultimately you found it disillusioning, disappointing. This man, these cups on the ground behind him, these 8 goblets, some of them tipped over and spilled out, some of them upright. The implication being is that he's tasted and drunk from most, if not all, of these cups. And while he may have thought they were what he wanted at the time, or he may have thought they were going to be something else, and they turned out to be something completely different, it's turned out to be different than what he thought, or it's run its course. He's disappointed, disillusioned. There's no joy or fulfillment here, so he's made up his mind definitively to turn his back and walk away. His back is turned to us. He's dressed for travel. He has his hat on, his cloak on, his walking staff. He's surveying his horizon. He may not be sure precisely which direction he's going in, but he knows he wants to leave it behind. The source of this disillusionment, dissatisfaction, something that's run its course, something that's turned out differently than what he had anticipated it being, something, again, in relation to the past, or something that's been there for a long time. But feeling trapped and held hostage, feeling like you can't, maybe feeling like you're stuck, feeling obligated, maybe a sense of duty or loyalty, particularly if this is relationship-oriented or family-oriented, because the Eight of Cups is paired with the Eight of Swords. Swords is air energy. That's the element which governs this suit. It's all about the airy world of what goes on up in our heads, what we think, what we see, our belief systems, outlooks, and how it affects how we communicate. Truth, higher education, knowledge too sometimes as well. The suit of swords can represent. It's a mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. So the Eight of Swords is a card that represents feeling trapped or held hostage. It is somewhat illusionary. It represents feeling trapped, but it's trapped by your thoughts. It could be a variety of thoughts or a fundamental belief system, but feeling like you don't have control, like you can't make a change, that you're stuck where you're at. But it's illusionary because even though this woman is completely encircled by this ring of swords, the gaps are plenty wide enough for her to walk through and away from them easy. She's on her knees, which implies us being, a certain victim mentality or feeling vulnerable, helpless. Nobody's holding her there. She's chained up at the wrists, but it's not attached to anything or anyone. With a simple flip of her hand, those chains could fall off, and she could reach up and take the blindfold off, see her reality for what it is, which is that she has all the control in the world. You can just make the decision to break and make the break. I'm not saying it would be easy, and I'm not saying that perhaps a certain amount of planning and foresight needs to go into it, but feeling like you're trapped and held hostage out of whatever reasons you're telling yourself or whatever belief system is keeping you there is illusionary. You have the ability to get up and walk away from it and call it done any day. We live in a free will zone. Even if it's difficult, you still have the ability to do that. So you can separate yourself from whatever this is. So next to that, it actually looks like you do. Again, like with a lot of the other signs so far, it's like the first half of the month is spent kind of with this conflict, internal, external struggle, conflict. How do I do this? Can I do this? Back and forth. And then it's as if something happens and you make the decision to do it. You take the reins into your own hands and you make the decision to just make the break, make the change, start over, start fresh, whatever the process is for you. We have the Nine of Cups, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. So the Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. It can represent getting what you want, but having not just enough but more than enough. It's like abundance overflowing, your cup's overflowing. This man has enough not just for himself, which he's celebrating, but all these other cups which are upright and full, ready to share with friends and family because he has so much. It's just overflowing. It's a card of abundance, having what you want in a more physical sense. And sometimes there is cautionary advice with the Nine of Cups of be careful what you wish for because you may get it and then find out it's not exactly all you thought it was going to be. So always that cautionary advice, but it does represent where do you feel a sense of prosperity and joy and abundance, having that. For some of you, it can represent something coming in to affect that change. Because the Nine of Cups is paired with the Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth energy. So the suit of Pentacles often manifests in things that are about the earthly, tangible, day-to-day concrete world we live in. Things like that we can see and touch and feel: money, finance, resource, property, assets, etc., or tangible results of the efforts we put into things. Aces represent the number one. They always represent seeds, which if you plant them in the right ground at the right time and take care of them, they will eventually grow to their full manifestation and end up giving back and nurturing you. So the Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning, but this is tangible in nature. It's a new beginning you can actually see. See the impact of it. The Ace of Pentacles is a card that often comes up for moving, relocating, sometimes a new job. So paired with the Nine of Cups, some of you, this is where the story is going to split us. Some of you decide, I need to move, I need to relocate, I need to actually make the break and make it be a physical break in order to find my joy and happiness, in order to have this sense of prosperity and overflowing abundance. For others of you, something actually comes in rather unexpectedly and you feel like you've won the lottery because it enables you to make that break, particularly that physical break. The Ace of Pentacles sometimes represents being given the gift of a good sum of money or resources that are desperately needed. So for some of you, it could be something unexpected which enables you making the break possible or a little easier. And again, I'm getting physical move and relocation. It's as if what you want to leave behind, this thing from the past or childhood or family or long-term, relationship of some kind, it's a physical move as well. It's actually a separate, moving yourself away from that. Now, at or towards the end of August 2017, we have the Star, beautiful card, followed by the Four of Swords. So the Star is a card of hope, faith, primarily. It's about having faith in the past, in the path in front of you, having faith in your sense of intuition, your connection with the divine, completely emptying yourself out, knowing that you'll be provided for because the universe loves you, and there's a plan, divine timing and orchestration. That's why this woman is completely pouring her pitchers out into this water, because she knows that when the time comes, if she needs water, she'll be taken care of because the source is limitless. She has that kind of hope and faith and promise in the path in front of her. It does look like this whole process has kind of taken a lot out of you, Sagittarius, because the Star is also paired with the Four of Swords, which is another card of rest, respite, healing, restoration, being exhausted, worn out, withdrawing from conflict, which is what the swords represent, pointed down at him. But for the time being, he's not engaged. His own sword is lying close by should he need it. But again, for the time being, he's withdrawn from conflict. There is an implication because of that, because he's still girded in chainmail, that this is a temporary rest, recuperation, because you need to take a little better care of yourself, kind of get things together, perhaps go within and seek out some insight and clarity. And again, just resting with this foundation, hopefully, of hope and faith that however things play out, it's meant to. It's divine timing and orchestration at play. But be careful to take care of yourself, because the Four of Swords can often just represent being worn out and exhausted. So forewarned is forearmed. That's why we do these readings. So be vigilant about that, Sagittarius. Your overall energy is the moon, deep, almost subconscious sense of spirituality, of the path being misty and cloudy and sometimes rather hidden, but trusting in that way down deep in the gut, divine intuition and understanding. The moon can also represent things not being entirely clear, or having to rely on your sense of spiritual connection or your intuitive abilities and allow them to guide you, even if you can't see more than a step in front of you. Have faith that it is divine timing and orchestration. Great reading. Again, really interesting. It's like something happens in the middle of the month to actually make you just take control of your life again. And it looks like some of you may be moving, relocating, starting a new job even. So Sagittarius, that pretty much wraps up your August 2017 general reading. I hope you have enjoyed it. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, click on that about or description button on my YouTube channel's homepage for more information, and my email address, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I will see you all again soon, and until then, Sagittarius, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care. Bye-bye.